So my name is Ben Chislagi. I work at Tostan and I am the Director of the Monitoring, Evaluation, Research and Learning Department. The Pathley Family Foundation asked us, Tostan, to give a presentation about our theory of change, and I'm very happy today to have the opportunity of giving this presentation to you. You will see there are a few points that I will be touching in this presentation. First thing I want to give to you though is, in a nutshell, what our theory of change is about. Okay? We see that the communities where we work face challenges that tend to be similar in all different communities, because similar is the context where they live. For instance, children are not registered at birth, women do not usually fully participate in the decision-making process, they face very serious health issues, challenges like, for instance, female genital cutting, child marriage. So we look at the communities, between the communities that face these challenges, that are ready, you could say, ripe for the program, for change, for social change. We look at certain preconditions that enable this community that we believe will contribute to the social change that we see happening after we carry out our community empowerment program. Our community empowerment program is then brought into the communities that are ready for social change. Has two components. The first one is the non-formal education classes, so which happen 3 times a week for 3 years and are 2 hours long. And the community management committee, we put in place a committee composed of 17 members, well, usually 9 to 10, or at least 9 to 10 are women. And this community management committee has then sub-commissions and is a kind of a government of the community that start taking care of the community in terms of planning, development actions, carrying those actions out with the help of the community members, and engaging community members in reflections over local social practices and norms. And then we have certain outcomes. And we see these outcomes as split into, the first thing we see is community beliefs and intentions about actions. So the intention, a change in how people think and what people believe, and in their intention to act in different ways, realigning the actions, aligning the actions with a new belief. And what we see after that is the actual actions, the community-led actions. And what we see after that is the diffusion of the new knowledge and the local understandings of that new knowledge, and the new attitude to other communities, and then to other regions and possibly countries. And the long term we look at, and it's on space above, the long term we look at is that individuals and communities eventually take control over the future and realize human rights and responsibility, improve their education, health, environment, and increase their better their economic conditions, increase their economic prosperity. So what we also see is, of course, that there is a cause and effect relation between the different stages of the program. And what we see as well is that there is a virtuous circle in place, so that once we have this impact, well, communities enter a positive circle where they become able to identify their challenges and enact to improve and address those challenges. So that when Tostan gets out of the equation, when Tostan leaves the community, what happens is actually that the community is capable and equipped with the knowledge and skills that community members need to identify the challenges, act to improve those challenges, to address those challenges, diffuse the solutions that they identify, and better what could be the community well-being. Okay, let me now, this is the wider look at the theory of change. Let me now dig a bit into the details and the dynamics of this change. So as I was saying, the wider picture, we have local challenges of rural communities here. We have the preconditions for community participation that Tostan looks for. We have the activities being carried, the outputs of the community empowerment program. We have the outcomes of the community empowerment program that we define as beliefs and intentions about actions and community-led actions. We have this blue, light blue thing here is the organized diffusion, and I'll give you some details. And of course the dark blue over there is the long-term impact. What you see in red over here are our tools, our system of monitoring and evaluation of this. Okay? So let me now get back and let me give you some example of local challenges of rural communities. So what we see, and our sources are national trends, researches, evaluations, what we identified as standard trends in the communities where we worked in the past is that there are commonalities in different sectors of the well-being of the communities in terms of the challenges they face. We have some in governance, some in education, some in health, environment, and in the economic conditions. I'll give you just a couple of examples. You will have this presentation, so you will be able to go through those. For governance, for instance, that women and youth do not participate in the community decision-making and do not hold leadership position. For education, that there is a lack of community ownership of local schools. Health, well, there are harmful, deeply entrenched practices like FGC and child marriage that can lead to serious health problems and medical conditions. Environment, there are no systems in place for trash pickup and removal, and for economic conditions, well, they live in conditions of extreme economic poverty. So these are the examples, these are examples of the challenges that the communities that live in the remote areas of rural Africa face. And then so we have this community and we look at which communities satisfy certain preconditions. The first one is that the community has high potential for diffusion of knowledge through formal and informal networks. Since we want to scale up, replicate, multiply the effect of our program, we look at how the community is in a privileged position for scaling up, for multiplying the effect in terms of geographical location, in terms of infrastructures. Maybe there is a market, maybe there is in a crossroad, a strategic position, or maybe there is an important person, an important imam into that community that will make many people come and visit the community. Then we look at the fact that the community has to invite us. Then we don't get into any community. We present the program to the local authorities, who then decide whether they want or don't want the TOSTEN program, and they are able to refuse. If they do accept, then they have to engage with certain responsibilities. For instance, they have to pay for food and accommodation of the facilitator, which gives them ownership of the program, right? Then we look at both men and women participating in the classes, committing to participate in the classes and in the community management committee. And we think this is very important because in the past, what the development literature tells us is that when you had only women programs, for instance, the men will feel left behind. And then, yes, the women will get empowered, but the power structure wouldn't change, and so the men would just respond by using their authority and power over the empowered women. So conflict. Then we have, as a second last precondition, that community members believe that they can benefit from the program, because that will lower the dropout rate, and that the non-participating community members commit to support adult and adolescent participants in the classes, and in some cases agree to be adopted learners. So people in rural Africa, some of you might know this already, live very busy lives. There is wood to be gathered, there is fire to be lit, there is millet to be peeled, there are children to be taken care of, cows to be taken to the fields. So taking out 2 hours every other day to participate in a human rights in one of the TOSTEN classes, it's not an easy task. Without the help of our other families, other family members, that wouldn't be possible. So we have sisters gathering wood for their sister or their brother. We have husbands accepting to eat later than usual. And how do we look at, and how do we know if this is happening? Well, we do a science study. Okay? So preconditions for community participation. Then, when communities are ready for the program, we bring in the program. And we have key outputs. Main activities, which is what we actually do. These are two. They don't formal education classes. And the community management committee. The classes are in modules. The first one is called COVI1, 6 months, about visualizing the community we want in the future, democracy, human rights, problem solving. Then we have the COVI2, about mainly health and hygiene. The Audi, that is long, 16 months, is about literacy, numeracy, math skills, the use of SMS texting for mobile phones, and project management skills. And throughout the entire program, the methodology we adopt is participatory. So theatre, songs, drawing, small groups, games, following the, if you are expert of pedagogy, following Dewey and Freire's theories about participatory education. And then we put in place a community management committee. So we select participants and community leaders select 17 CMC members, 50%, at least 50% of which are women. Those community members identify, CMC members identify other community members that we serve on 6 commissions managed by the CMC. So we have this central committee and 6 commissions. We train them, we offer them training, and we help them in collaborating with local authorities and other local partners, and of course we give also to them project management skills. So this is actually the activities these are the only activities, almost the only activities that TOSTEM carries out in the field. Because of the simple fact of carrying out these activities, there are certain outputs. As related to the class, we have 3 different outputs. Methodology, certain outputs, certain things that happen just because of the methodology. Certain things that happen because of the process that in place. Certain things that happen because of the interaction between participants in the class. So because of methodology, what we see is that all participants enjoy democratic participation in the class. The facilitator regulates the participants' participation. They relate the course content to everyday experiences and problems. So in the COVI1, when we talk about human rights is an abstract knowledge, but participants contextualize that knowledge into what matters to them, into problems that speak their language. So it's not about the human right to health that is in the conventions, it's about doing family planning because me as a woman, I cannot have a child every year because that is weakening me, that is not leaving me time to take care of the house, or take care of other children, and for me as your husband, that is an opportunity to discuss the real reasons why you want to do family planning. We had husbands saying, oh really, you want to do family planning because of health? We thought you wanted to do family planning because you wanted to cheat on us. So the contextualization of the abstract knowledge is really key. They learn to provide honest and constructive feedback that helps us make our program better. Participants are given new roles, roles of talker, for instance, as group representatives, and that increases their confidence and ability to publicly voice their opinion and be heard. And then they become capable of sharing information and ideas with adopted learners and others, and that is also key. Because on the one hand, they will be talking in meetings. On the other hand, they will be spreading the information, the new knowledge, and their understanding of this new knowledge with others. This is because of the methodology. Because of the process, we see different things. They take on new roles. They become teachers, they become learners. They identify in this process values, local traditional values, like family, working together, collaboration, everyone's role in the society, and they link them to positive behaviors. On these values, they build new perspective and aspirations for the future of the community that motivates their social action. They see collaboration which is necessary to reach the aspiration, as critical, right? We have this vision. How can we reach this vision? Well, the only way is through collaboration, which, by the way, is a traditional value. Now, how can we collaborate if we don't take everyone, if we don't respect everyone? If we don't respect Mamadou, he might not be willing to collaborate with us. So they identify equality and dignity as critical for collaboration. I have a couple of points, so I need to push that a little bit up. They discussed, however, value and behavior inconsistencies. So we said that we need to treat Mamadou in the same way. Why didn't we do it before? So we do have values of collaboration, but there is a behavior inconsistency. And this inconsistency is discussed. And in realigning these values, beliefs and behavior, they acquire the skills, the practical skills that they need. Problem solving, democratic dialogue, collaboration, okay? And then finally we have certain outputs that are linked to the interaction between participants. The human rights knowledge allowed them to renegotiate social practices from a human rights perspective. So we did this in the past. We are now discussing that we have these values, we have concretized these abstract values that come from human rights into local daily practices. How can we re-look at the practices that we had in the past from a human rights perspective? New roles emerge because of class activities and project management. They gain the ability to manage conflict as behaviors, beliefs and values are realigned. People might disagree. In class they learn how to actually deal with conflict in a positive way. And of course they get new knowledge and behaviors related to governance, health, education, environment and economic conditions, as for instance very easily how to treat children that are dehydrated or how to limit germs transmission. Okay? So this is the outputs that follow the implementation of the classes. We said it's not just about the classes, it's about the CMC, and there are two main outputs that follow, that are linked to the CMC. First one are the activities carried out by the CMC in the community. The second one is what actually happens because you have people that are participating in the CMC, so that are related more to the existence and to the process of being part of the CMC. So activities. They do awareness raising actions in the community. I just wish to remember the CMC is a group of community members, so that is the creation of which is facilitated by Tostan, but then it's the community members that do all the work, all the hard work. They do awareness raising actions in the community. They outreach to neighboring and intramural communities. They collaborate with the CMCs of other villages. They organize inter-village meetings. They organize public, participate in public declarations. They monitor and evaluate the activities that they carry out. And they even register with the government as legally recognized community-based organization and collaborate with local partners. Because of the status that they reach, they are actually legally allowed to collaborate with other partners and access public funding. So these are the activities that CMC carries out. What does it mean to be part of the CMC? It means that CMC members experience a growth in the confidence in their ability to be more autonomous, to convince others, to manage projects, in their efficacy. They become community leaders, they become activists, they become advocates for community well-being. They go around and say, you have to put your children at school, you have to follow vaccination schedules, because they believe in it, not because they get money for that. New roles for women in the CMC become an example for the other women in the community. Look, then women can also be leaders. Women can be talkers, can be teachers. And the CMC helps the community identify local development priorities and put in place actions to address them. So we do have these two activities and certain results. All this facilitates dynamics that help community members put in place a certain number of actions. And by the way, from the MNE point of view, we know that the baseline study that's carried out before the beginning of the program and the monitoring of project activities inform each other, and the monitoring of project activities, of course, contributes to predicting the likelihood of outcomes. Okay? So, outcomes. Here, we've seen what we do. What is that we see happening in the community? Two things. Number one, beliefs and intentions about actions change. Number two, new actions are being carried out. Number one, what beliefs and intentions change? Well, we see 5 different points. I go briefly through them. The first one, benefits coming from collaboration foster beliefs about human rights and responsibility. Because of the fact that the community all of a sudden become cleaner. That's one of the most visible effects. Because of the fact that collaboration brings about positive change, and because of the fact that we know, that participants now know that human rights and responsibility are so deeply linked to collaboration, now that we see the benefits coming from collaboration, beliefs about human rights and responsibility become stronger, and the intention to share to a wider audience those beliefs, with a wider audience those beliefs and understandings also becomes stronger, and is fostered by seeing those positive changes. Seeing positive change, however, also generates new intention. If seeing is believing, and I'm seeing that positive change is coming from the program, what I believe is that further change can happen in the past. For those of you who like cultural anthropology, there is this guy called Apatrai who said, poor people, they don't see alternative. They don't have television, they don't have newspaper, they don't have the possibility to take a flight and go to other countries. So it's difficult for poor people to imagine the difference. And so that the future is just a repetition of the past. But when you see that change is happening, that opens up the space for a future that diverges from the past, for new change happening. If this change, this other thing can also change. Then we have cognitive dissonances generating new beliefs. So I believe, what does that mean? That means that, for instance, since the other day I believe that women were shy, ontologically shy. They are shy because all women are shy, you know. But all of a sudden I see 2, 3, 5, 10 women speaking in our meetings. That's a cognitive dissonance. I knew this was true, and now I see a different thing, and this is also true. So new beliefs are generated, and our participants will tell you things like, oh, you know, women used to be shy. But no, now I realize they can actually participate in the decision making, they can participate in the religion, they can voice out what they think and believe, and they're able to convince us. 4, we see this, we told you this before briefly, value, behavior, and consistencies generate new intentions. So I want the best for my children, and I used to practice FGC exactly because I wanted the best for my children. But now we realize that altogether there is a better solution. If we all stop doing FGC, then we don't need to practice it anymore, because FGC is mainly linked to the marriageability of our daughters. So if we stop doing it, and the value is having the best for our children, well, then the behavior as a better behavior alternative that fits better into this value. So this inconsistency between doing something that has a better option generates the intention to go for the better option at the public level. And how do we move to the public level? Well, through public adherence. And public adherence to new behaviors and practices, we believe, sets new norms and behavior expectations. So let's move away from the FGC example and back into the environment cleaning example. If we have a meeting about cleaning the environment, and we say, now this community believes that everyone should participate, and everyone will be participating in this environment, in cleaning shifts and cleaning environment events. Well, then when I leave that meeting, I'm not only leaving that meeting with the belief that you will be participating, I'm also leaving that meeting with the belief that everyone expects from me that I will be participating. So new norms and practices are actually in place, and new expectations are in place. So we said there were 2 different kind of outcomes. What we've just seen is actually a change in the dynamics by which this change happens, in what people believe and in their intention about actions. As I was saying, though, we also see a change in what people actually do. And we think that our wider outcome is that community members are now equipped with the personal and social skills they need to collaborate together to deliberate and collaborate and put in place actions aimed at improving their community well-being. This is the general outcome. We'll give you some examples. We can give you some examples of these actions. To begin with, we split community well-being into 5 different sectors. These 5 sectors are governance, education, health, environment, economic growth. It's a subjective division. It's a subjective distinction, but we believe this helps us capturing most of the actions that community members carry out to improve their community well-being. So I'll give you just some examples. Following the program, for what is governance, we have community members registering their children at birth. We have women and marginalized groups of the community participating in the decision-making process, and very often occupying, holding leadership positions. We have, of course, I'd have more. For what is education, we have more. For what is education, we have the fact that participants demonstrate the ability to use literacy and numeracy skills in community projects, for instance. We have the community members have new knowledge on democracy, human rights, health, etc., etc. We have the fact that community members actually start recognize the importance of feel ownership of their schools, or that parents read storybooks to their children and so doing take care of their cognitive development. For what is health, we have women practicing birth spacing, doing pre- and post-natal consultation and following vaccination schedules. We have community members using mosquito nets every night. We have community members that declare the abandonment of harmful practices as FGC and child marriage, etc., etc. For what is environment, we have community members constructing and using latrines, using wood-saving stoves, and then organizing cleaning shift of the public spaces, public environment, public spaces. And finally, for what is economic growth, we have community members, and especially the women, managing income-generating activities. We have the CMC opening bank accounts. We have the community joining with other communities to access funds as federations. So these are just examples. What you see down here is, of course, how shall I say, they localized responses that every CMC and every community will have. What our program does is equipping community members with the skills they need. But we can't foresee, we cannot anticipate all the different actions that community members will put in place, with all the different issues or things that community members will actually take care of. So in our list of outcomes, of selected outcomes, we include specific actions that community members might take in the field, in these different 5 sectors. So, how do we monitor and evaluate that? Well, we carry out qualitative and quantitative evaluation of these outcomes. And of course, the understanding of these outcomes guides the understanding of the impact of organized diffusion, which is here. Organized diffusion is a process through which knowledge moves from the individual to from one village to other individuals and other communities. And what we see is that each learner adopts a non-participating member of the community. They share the knowledge in the family, with the husbands, with the children. The CMC formally adopts a village neighborhood when it's big villages or other communities, and organizes social mobilization activities. Knowledge then diffuses or is shared with other members of the community in informal venues, for instance, or formal venues. Informal venues as marriages and markets, or informal venues as village meetings. And then this knowledge is shared beyond the community borders, through informal networks, friends, families in other communities, and through social mobilization activities that are led by the CMC and what we call social mobilization agents. And all these is, of course, monitor at the different stages of the organized diffusion, so that eventually what we result in is that the organized diffusion, what we see eventually is the organized diffusion of the new knowledge and understandings and attitudes from the community where we work to other communities, regions, and possibly countries. And this will lead, we know that, we hope, we have reason to theorize that this leads to our long-term impact, where we have individuals and communities taking control over the future realizing human rights and responsibilities, and improving their education, health, environment, and improving their economic conditions, increasing their economic prosperity. For those of you who are good observers, you might be wondering what this little thing is about, what this little square is about. Well, in our initial graph, we had this arrow. And as I was saying at the beginning of this presentation, we believe that when community reach this stage, they will be equipped with what they need to carry out a positive cycle of community-led development. Being able to identify challenges, to deliberate democratically about those challenges, and to put in place actions that will positively develop the community over time. So, before saying thank you, again, I know that this is just an introduction. There is much more to be said, and I wish for you to see this as a first step into the Tolstoy program and their complexities. We have been collaborating in the past few years with many academics, and we are just now in the process of creating new partnerships in the future. So we are very open to any comments you might have, and very open to have with you Skype calls or whatever is you will feel needed to answer to your questions or to deepen certain aspects of this theory of change. Thank you.